Good morning, all. Thank you so much for being there. Let's get started. So, hello again. My name is Bree Warner. I oversee media relations and marketing in Canada for Virginia Tourism Corporation, and I thank you so much for joining us this morning on this virtual tour of the southern portion of the beautiful Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. I would like to welcome my colleagues, Christy Braggington, International Media Relations Manager. Hi, Christy.
Hi, Bree. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
And my colleague, Tyler Carroll, International Marketing Manager, who worked really hard in preparing for today's event. And he is the one making the virtual tour happen behind the scenes. Merci à nos amis francophones qui se joignent à nous du Québec et de la France pour cette visite virtuelle de la belle région de la vallée de Shenandoah en Virginie. La tournée se déroulera en anglais et nous vous invitons à communiquer avec nous après l'événement si vous désirez obtenir des précisions sur le contenu de la visite. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. The event is expected to last approximately 1 hour. At the end of the presentation, you'll be invited to ask questions to our panelists. So until then, we kindly ask that you keep your camera and microphones turned off. I invite you to view the presentation in speaker mode, which you can activate by clicking the button on the top right corner of your screen. Finally, I wanted to let you know that this presentation is being recorded and we'll be sharing the link to the recording after the event. So are you ready? Let's do it. So the Southern Shenandoah Valley is easily accessible traveling south on I-81. It can be reached within a day after about a 9-hour drive from Toronto and about 10 hours from Montreal. The region is illustrated on this map of Virginia, and it is located in the northwest portion of the state. Even if the destination is easily reached by car, it is worth mentioning that the area is also served by the Shenandoah Valley Regional Airport and is in close proximity to the Dulles International Airport in Northern Virginia. So today we'll be visiting 3 key locations in the Shenandoah Valley. We will start in Staunton, then travel east to Waynesboro, and finish our tour in Lexington. In all 3 locations, you'll meet tourism professionals and locals who will share their passion and give you a taste of their destination. The 3 different localities of the Shenandoah Valley all offer authentic experiences and share a love for locally made food and craft beverages. One example of this is the Shenandoah Trail, which connects some of the best breweries and other craft beverage producers in the region.
The Beer Works Trail. Now wake up, trailblazers, and pack that gear. Grab that selfie, then put the phones away. It's time to enjoy nature's finest.
What'd you see up there?
Beer!
On Malay!
Play on!
The Beer Works Trail, where beer and nature collide. Trailblazers, welcome.
So this gives you just a little bit of the taste of the Beer Works Trail, but without further ado, let's start our tour in Staunton, where we meet my dear colleague, Cheryl Wagner. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you everyone for coming today, and thank you, Bree. I'm Cheryl Wagner, and I'm the Director of Tourism for the City of Staunton. Staunton is located in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. And today we want to take you on a tour of our charming downtown with amazing architecture, our outsized art scene, our historic significance, and our food culture. Staunton is one of the oldest cities west of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Staunton was first settled in 1720s. We are located at the intersections of Interstate 64 and 81, and we're just a short drive from the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Skyline Drive. Driving to Staunton, we're only 2.5 hours from DC, 90 minutes from Richmond, Virginia, and 30 minutes from Charlottesville. And as Bree said, you can get here by air at the Shenandoah Valley Regional Airport or by rail, because we have an Amtrak station located right in the heart of downtown. Many award-winning vineyards and breweries are located in and around near downtown Staunton. Staunton is close to other major attractions like Luray Caverns, Monticello, Natural Bridge, which you'll hear about later, and the Shenandoah National Park. Our downtown district is an excellent example of a compact 19th century Main Street. And we boast beautifully maintained buildings, as you can see in this photo, designed in an eclectic mix of architectural styles. We have 6 historic districts on the National Register of Historic Places. We can provide a self-guided walking tour, or you can take a free guided walking tour every Saturday, April through October. Frank Strassler with Historic Staunton Foundation can tell you more.
Welcome to Staunton, Virginia. Our visitors find a compact, small city with easy access to its vibrant downtown, beautiful neighborhoods, and active parks. These amenities were established through a period of prosperous urban growth during the late 19th and throughout the mid-20th century. As a hub for the valley's commerce and transportation, Staunton was a center for shipping, with warehouses, shops, mills, courts, and schools. Visitors now experience much of the same authentic atmosphere. Today, we enjoy the resulting beautiful architecture throughout the downtown and surrounding neighborhoods. Staunton was also a stopover for vaudeville and opera productions. Downtown hotels house theater troupes, sales representatives, and other travelers. Many of the 19th century hotel buildings are now adaptively reused for new purposes. The creeks that flow through Staunton provided power for 18th century mills. Visitors to Staunton enjoy world-class live performance theater and can experience our strong tradition of local live music and outstanding art galleries. Staunton celebrates a strong movement of historic preservation and community planning. 50 years ago, Historic Staunton Foundation was founded to help revitalize the city's downtown. Staunton has emerged as a nationally celebrated preservation success story, encouraging adaptation and reuse of historic architecture. Originally constructed in 1924, Hotel 24 South is one of Staunton's finest, providing walking access to all of the downtown amenities. The Blackburn Inn and Spa is a beautiful campus of classically inspired buildings set in a hillside landscape. At the end of the 19th century, expansion and continued investment brought skilled architect T.J. Collins to Staunton. The family's architecture firm flourished for 115 years, adapting popular architectural styles and influences from both Europe and the US. In Staunton, you will discover a collection of buildings reflecting many diverse stylistic and vernacular periods. Monumental buildings include designs based on French Second Empire, Romanesque, Mediterranean Revival, and American Colonial Revival styles. Excellent dining and shopping is found throughout the downtown area. Saturday mornings include a farmer's market filled with fresh foods from the surrounding county farms. Staunton is both a county seat and an independent city and has been the center of government institutions since its 18th century founding. Come enjoy Staunton. We are a small city with an authentic sense of place where you walk, explore, and participate in all our community offers. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. So Staunton is home to the world's only recreation of Shakespeare's indoor theater, the Blackfriars Playhouse. You can choose from Shakespearean staples along with new and contemporary plays performed year-round. Let's take a sneak peek at what you'd see on a tour of the Blackfriars Playhouse with actor managers Zoe Spees and Brandon Carter.
Hi there, my name is Zoe Spees and I am an actor manager here at the American Shakespeare Center. I'm standing in the lobby of our beautiful home, the Blackfriars Playhouse, located in downtown Staunton. So I'm really excited for you guys to take a look at our space today. In this beautiful theater, we produce approximately 5 to 7 plays a year currently. This upcoming 2021 season, our titles will include Macbeth, Henry V, and All's Well That Ends Well by William Shakespeare. And then, leading into the holiday season, we'll be reprising our fan favorite production of A Christmas Carol, which was adapted from the Charles Dickens novella, which we all love being a part of every year, and it brings a lot of hope and joy to the community and hopefully to you as well. But there's lots of other ways to get involved with the American Shakespeare Center besides just coming to see our shows. We have hands-on workshops with our fabulous education department, and behind-the-scenes tours that allow you to go backstage and see what we as actors and designers and producers of theater encounter and deal with and explore with on a daily basis. My good friend and fellow actor-manager Brandon Carter will take you on a tour of the Blackfriars Playhouse if you'll just step inside.
Hello, my name is Brandon Carter, one of the actor managers here at the American Shakespeare Center in Staunton, Virginia. We are inside the world's only recreation of the Blackfriars Playhouse, where we do it with the lights on. Now, we do it with the lights on because we're trying to honor Shakespeare's original staging conditions. So if you're familiar with direct address, the Shakespeare's actors would have taken most of their lines to everybody in the house. So you are not alone in the space. We can see you and you see us. It makes the experience much deeper. Now, typically on a tour, you would see our trap door here. I don't want to get too close because it might fall in. And up above, you would see our heavens. So typically in some of Shakespeare's shows, you would have entrances coming down from the heavens, Deus ex machina. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Okay, also we have our mezzanine up top. All of the detail here you would see in Shakespeare's original Blackfriars Playhouse. But what's awesome about this space is that all of the wood here in the space was locally sourced. So we had the whole team of Staunton coming through, pulling together the American Shakespeare Center so you can experience it here live and in the raw. Hopefully we can catch you here this summer, next summer, and in the future. When you come here and see a show, please say hello to me and Zoe, and I hope you enjoy your experience.
Thank you, Zoe and Brandon. So just 2 miles from downtown Staunton, you'll find the Frontier Culture Museum. This museum is an outdoor living history museum depicting the lives of America's first frontier. The museum traces the path from the old world to American farmsteads during the 1740s, 1820s, and 1850s. Let's step back in time with a short introduction to the museum.
Hello, my name is Misty, and I'm an interpreter here at the Frontier Culture Museum of Virginia. If you've never visited us before, the story that we tell here is the stories of the cultures of people from Europe, West Africa, and indigenous North America. When you're visiting us here at the Frontier Culture Museum, you should expect to see daily life of all sorts and kinds representative of the cultures that we talk about here. So you will see people playing different instruments and using musical expressions of culture. You will see people cooking and expressing culture in food ways. And you will see people practicing skills and trades that don't necessarily continue to this day. Our living history examples here at the museum should bring you closer to understanding those cultures. Let's start with our West African farm first. Our West African farm here at the Frontier Culture Museum focuses on the cultures of the Igbo people of modern-day Nigeria. The purpose of focusing on that culture over all of the other cultures in West Africa is because 40% of the enslaved people that come to Virginia during the Atlantic slave trade are of Igbo origin. Their contributions to our American culture include music, dance, and many things that are thought of as traditional American foods. Let's take a listen to a little bit of that music. Old World side of the museum, you'll also see original structures from England, Ireland, and Germany. We'll also showcase traditional farming, skills, trades, and crafts. You'll see a lot of different demonstrations throughout your visit here at the museum. At our forge here in Ireland, You'll also get a chance to see our blacksmith making the tools that we use throughout the museum. The American side of the museum also includes original buildings from the Valley of Virginia. And it's here that you're going to see how all of these cultures have come together in various ways to form a part of what we now know as American culture today. I really hope you've enjoyed your visit, your sneak peek to the Frontier Culture Museum, and we hope to see you out here in person soon.
If we head back downtown, you can discover the life and legacy of America's 28th president at the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library and Museum. It's a complex that includes a museum, gardens, and the house where Wilson was born in 1856. Enjoy this brief tour of the museum by curator Andrew Phillips.
Welcome to the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library, an organization that interprets the life and times of the 28th President of the United States. I'm Andrew Phillips, the library's curator. Woodrow Wilson was born in 1856, just before the American Civil War, and died in 1924, just after World War I. It was a transformative era, not only for the U.S., but for the entire world. One of the ways we discuss this period is through tours of Woodrow Wilson's birthplace, this 1840s Presbyterian manse. Let's step inside. In the house, you'll learn about the president's childhood, his family, and the 3 enslaved people who lived and worked here. You'll get a chance to explore the room in which Woodrow Wilson was born, his father's study, and an authentic 1850s kitchen, along with a number of fabulous artifacts. One of the most notable is this 1850 French chamber guitar that once belonged to Woodrow's mother, Jessie Wilson. Jessie loved music, and at a time when you needed to make most of your own entertainment, having musical ability was a true gift. The Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library also hosts a museum full of exhibits on topics such as trench warfare in World War I, the segregation of the federal government, and Wilson's presidential elections. My personal favorite gallery, though, is this one, which features his 1919 Pierce Arrow limousine. It is the oldest still operational presidential car in the country, and one of the finest examples of the early years of the automobile. This is just a glimpse of the things that you'll see and experience at the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library. We look forward to welcoming you to Staunton very soon.
Thank you, Andrew. So just right down the street from the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library is the Shack. So recently named by as the South's new foodie hotspot by Vogue magazine, Staunton has several notable chefs and eateries with an emphasis on creative preparation and locally raised livestock and produce. Here, James Beard winning chef Ian Bowden gives us his take on making crepes. Ian's recipe can also be found in the recipes. At the ripe old age of 13, Ian Bowden struck out on his culinary journey, picking up a job with a master chef in Northern Virginia. This early experience in the industry sealed his fate as a chef, and after high school, he attended the New England Culinary Institute of Vermont. After graduating there, he made his way to New York City and honed his skills at several New York City restaurants. Returning to his home state, Bowden opened his first restaurant, the Staunton Grocery, in 2007. His contemporary Virginia cuisine received regional and national recognition from publications like Southern Living, the New York Times, and Washingtonian, as well as receiving the Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence. Bowden closed the grocery in December 2011, but in 2013, he opened his community-spirited casual 26-seat restaurant called The Shack, where he cooks with such amazing originality. He's earned 2013 and 2017 James Beard Best Chefs in America Awards. Bowden's ambitious tasting menu has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Esquire, and Garden and Gum magazines. Recently, he reinvented his Staunton Grocery concept next door to the Shack But this time it's a market and sandwich shop, bringing the best of the Southern region to Staunton. Here's the Blackburn Inn that Frank talked about earlier. We have a diverse lodging opportunities that include full service hotels, motels, small inns, bed and breakfast, as well as facilities for meetings, conventions, and events. We have branded hotels like Hilton and Marriott, as well as boutique hotels like the Blackburn Inn pictured here and Hotel 24 South. The Blackburn Inn is a luxury boutique hotel, conference center, and spa that was once the Western State Lunatic Asylum. Plan your trip to Staunton using our website, visitstanton.com, our visitor's guide, our PR profile, all of which are in your materials today. We are available to help at any time with the story ideas or to assist with photos, and a big thanks for tuning in. Let's head west with my friend and colleague, Jennifer Callison, to beautiful Waynesboro, Virginia.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good morning and welcome to Waynesboro. My name is Jennifer Callison and I am the Tourism and Marketing Manager for the City of Waynesboro, a designated Appalachian Trail community sitting at the gateway to Shenandoah National Park and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Not only is Waynesboro an outdoor lover's paradise, we are also home to a vibrant arts and culture scene, including world-class street art, museums and galleries, the vaudeville era historic Wayne Theater, as well as a growing craft beverage and foodie spot and an eclectic mix of locally owned downtown shops. Thank you all for spending this time with us to learn more about our beautiful slice of the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. First, we'll start with something Waynesboro is known for, fly fishing. As one of only 2 urban trout fisheries in Virginia, this experience is unlike any other. The South River benefits from cold water mountain tributaries as it flows into downtown Waynesboro. In these waters, you can expect to see and hopefully catch brown and rainbow trout, as well as warm weather species like smallmouth bass. The most popular section is right in downtown Waynesboro in Constitution Park, which is catch and release stock trout waters. Now we'll catch up with Tommy Lawhorn, co-owner and expert guide at the South River Fly Shop, located in downtown Waynesboro, as he helps us cast a line.
Go back down over the boot after we get it on, so it keeps gravel from getting in between your foot and the sock. fraction doesn't work. It doesn't break, it doesn't bend their vision like it does in clearer, smoother water. So you always like fishing broken water more because it's easier to hide yourself. Native species, not a trout. It's an eastern fall fish.
Now here we are perched on a ridge in the Blue Ridge Mountains, overlooking the Shenandoah Valley from one of the Iris Inn's luxurious private cabins. The inn opened on a 19-acre property with just the main lodge containing 6 guest rooms in 1991 and has since built on an additional 4 cottages and 6 cabins. In addition, the inn has added walking trails for guests to explore the beautiful area, with plans to open a restaurant and bar as well as a full-service spa in May. Let's take a closer look. Here we are at Blue Ridge Bucha's Waynesboro Tap Room, which sits about 2.5 kilometers east of downtown Waynesboro and less than 5 kilometers from the entrance to both Shenandoah National Park and the Blue Ridge Parkway. This tap room opened in the spring of 2018, the first of its kind in Virginia and one of only a handful on the East Coast. Bucha is short for kombucha, which is a naturally carbonated fermented tea that is typically served cold and traditionally non-alcoholic. It's known for its health benefits since it is high in probiotics and also contains active enzymes, amino acids, and B vitamins. It also tastes great and is a refreshing low sugar alternative to soda and fruit juices with very little caffeine. Blue Ridge Bucha is also certified organic. Kombucha is made by fermenting tea and sugar using a mother culture, also known as a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, aka the SCOBY. The SCOBY is fueled by the sugar, which is why the resulting beverage is low in sugar. Real fruits, herbs, and spices are then added to the mixture to produce those wonderful flavors that Blue Ridge Bucha is known for, such as original ginger, black raspberry, and elderflower sunrise. They also produce delicious seasonals like kombucha, which is infused with chai tea, cold brucha, which is infused with coffee, cherry root, juniper berry, watermelon hibiscus, and more. The creative team at Blue Ridge Bucha is always developing new flavors. So, what's new with Blue Ridge Bucha? Recently, they began producing hard kombucha, which is a lighter alternative to beer, wine, and sugary cocktails. They've started with their signature bright and fruity kombucha flavors and infused them with organic spirits, creating a probiotic party in a bottle. Though the Waynesboro tap room has been closed for over a year, except for curbside pickup, visitors will soon once again be able to do tasting flights of all flavors, including taproom exclusives and seasonal favorites, enjoy a glass of their favorite at a picnic table outside, or grab a growler filled to go. Part of Blue Ridge Bucha's mission is to eliminate waste by using refillable bottles, which are available at grocery store chains like Whole Foods throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. Restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, and specialty food stores throughout the region also have Blue Ridge Bucha on draft, where you can bring a growler or refillable bottle to grab some bucha on the go. The company is continuing to grow sustainably throughout the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. Check their website for more information on where you can find Blue Ridge Bucha. Now I'm going to pass it to Aaron and Corby as they show us how to make the Porch Punch, a refreshing kombucha cocktail perfect for enjoying a hot summer day. And the recipe is included in your press kit.
So today we're with Corby. He is our lead brewer here at Blue Ridge Bucha, and he is going to be taste testing our Porch Punch cocktail, which you can also make as a mocktail. So give it a go, Corby.
Okay. Super excited about the Porch Punch. Let's see how it tastes. It's really, really good. Definitely taste the lime juice. It has definitely a citrus component. Got our original ginger in there, which is always delicious.
Yeah. What else hits you? Black raspberry?
Muddled very well. Thank you, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Do you sit and drink that on the porch?
Absolutely. This is like perfect for a nice hot summer day out on the porch. Just relaxing. I like it a lot.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now we'll head east just out of town to visit the newly opened Claudius Crozet Blue Ridge Tunnel. The Blue Ridge Tunnel just opened to the public in November of 2020 after a nearly 20-year-long restoration project, and it's one of the most unique hiking trails in Virginia. This engineering marvel was originally built in the 1850s as a railroad tunnel through Afton Mountain, the longest railroad tunnel in the world at the time. It was designed and built by French engineer Claudius Crozet with a lot of help from local slave labor and Irish immigrants. After 8 years of construction, trains first began utilizing the tunnel in 1858, and it continued to serve rail traffic until World War II, when it was replaced by a larger tunnel. Now, 75 years later, the tunnel is open again and accepting a different kind of traffic, on foot and bicycles. There are 2 entrances to the tunnel. The western trailhead is located just outside of Waynesboro, and the eastern trailhead is in the town of Afton. The hike from the Waynesboro parking lot to the western tunnel portal is 1.3 kilometers and pretty steep, so use caution if you venture from that side. From the Afton parking lot to the eastern tunnel portal is about 1 kilometer, and it's fully ADA accessible. The tunnel is located over 150 meters beneath the ridge at Rockfish Gap, so it stays about 10 degrees Celsius year-round. During the restoration process, no artificial lighting was installed, so it is completely dark inside. You'll need to bring a good flashlight or wear a headlamp while you explore. Now enjoy the sights and sounds of the Blue Ridge Tunnel. As I mentioned earlier, Waynesboro is ideally located about 6.5 kilometers from the southernmost entrance to Shenandoah National Park, Skyline Drive, the Appalachian Trail, and the northernmost entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So now let's hop on the Blue Ridge Parkway and head south to Rockbridge County, where we'll meet up with my colleague Patty Williams with the Lexington and Rockbridge area.
The Blue Ridge Parkway is America's longest linear park and runs for 755 kilometers, linking the Shenandoah National Park near Waynesboro to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It runs mostly along the spine of the Blue Ridge, a major mountain chain that is part of the Appalachian Mountains. With rugged mountains, long-range vistas, and the rolling plateaus of the Appalachian Mountains, this meandering parkway offers a gorgeous and relaxing drive. Outstanding scenery and recreational opportunities make the Blue Ridge Parkway one of the most popular parks of the United States National Park System. Split rail fences, old farmsteads, and historic structures complement spectacular views of distant mountains and neighboring valleys.
As you exit the Blue Ridge Parkway, you'll descend into the city of good views. Una Vista is an outdoorsman's paradise with access to the Appalachian Trail, Maury River, and Glen Maury Park. The 350-acre park features 2 campgrounds, hiking and biking trails, ball fields, pool, fishing, an 18-hole golf course, and live music venue. A short drive down the road takes you to Lexington, the county seat of Rockbridge County.
Welcome to Lexington, the southern gateway to the Shenandoah Valley. My name is Patty Williams, and I'm the Director of Marketing for Lexington and Rockbridge Area Tourism. Let's head over and meet Shayna Lehman and Aaron and Abe for a ride down Main Street.
I'm Shayna Pardue Lehman, and this is Aaron, and that's Abe. And we have the Lexington Carriage Company. We do historical tours of downtown Lexington, Virginia, as well as other horse-drawn carriage services for weddings and special events. This is the Oak Grove Cemetery here on our right. It dates back to 1797 and is one of only 3 cemeteries in the country that has veterans from every war that the U.S. has ever fought in, including the Texas War for Independence, the French and Indian War. There are 47 Revolutionary veterans here, and more than 250 Civil War veterans are buried here. And as we go through this portion of Main Street, if you notice all these balconies, that was the original street level. So those were the front doors. We are where the basement level would have been. Through here, they did not tend to have foundations that were quite that deep. So as they're digging the street down, they had to shore up the buildings and add down on the foundations. And they worked on this for the better part of 20 years. If you look closely at the brickwork, you can see where the windows used to be. They moved doors and windows, they added foundations. That's the Virginia Military Institute straight ahead of us. It dates back to 1839 as a school, but prior to that, it was an arsenal here to defend the river trade of the early 1800s. Straight ahead of us here is Washington Lee University. This is the 9th oldest college in the country. It was established in 1749.
Bye, Shayna.
Bye.
Bye, Aaron. Bye. Thanks so much, Shayna. We've arrived at the Georges, located on Main Street in downtown Lexington. Let's head inside to Taps and grab a craft cocktail.
We're here with Bill Harden, the most popular bartender here in Lexington. So Bill, what are you going to whip up for us today?
Today we're going to do the Lex Vegas. It's a mashup of the Cosmo and Mimosa.
Taps is our main bar, serving upscale pub fare featuring craft beer, creative cocktails, salads, sandwiches, and snacks made with many of our favorite ingredients from farms throughout the Shenandoah Valley. Taps opened February 1st of 2015 and is placed in the top 3 for best bar and best cocktails in the Shenandoah Valley every year in the annual Best of Virginia by Virginia Living magazine.
Bill, thank you so much for your southern hospitality and your great customer service.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
A member of Historic Hotels of America, the Georges is a thoughtfully restored 200-year-old inn in the heart of Lexington, Virginia. In 2020, we ranked the 2nd best city hotel in the continental U.S. and 53rd of the top 100 hotels in the world by Travel + Leisure World's Best Awards. We currently offer 18 uniquely designed boutique accommodations with 3 more luxury suites under construction to be completed this spring. Our 2 on-site restaurants, Taps and Haywoods, provide our guests with a chic, cozy environment to enjoy a handcrafted cocktail by the fireplace or indulge in a romantic dinner with live piano music. A place of comfort, traditional Virginian hospitality, and delicious food with regional ingredients makes the Georges the perfect choice for your overnight stay in Lexington.
Now we're going to head north to Wade's Mill in Rafine, Virginia. Cheers.
We've traveled 30 kilometers north of Lexington to beautiful Rafine, Virginia. Let's head inside and talk to John Siegfried, the miller and owner of Wade's Mill.
Welcome to Wade's Mill. This is the oldest continually operating grist mill in the Shenandoah Valley. The earliest documentation of a mill being in this location is 1750. It was built by a gentleman named Captain Joseph Kennedy. And then the Wade family got the mill around 1880, and they had it until 1990. We bought the mill 4 years ago in 2016. It's always been a continually operating grist mill. We grind corn, wheat, spelt, a few heirloom ancient grains. And on Saturday and Sunday mornings, generally the first people that are here at the mill help us start the water wheel. And we have a retail shop here. We have an online shop. We thought we would pretend that this was a Saturday morning, and we'll go ahead and start the water wheel. Watch your head as you're gumming out here. So all the water that we use for running the water wheel is coming down this pipe. It's coming up right here, and this paddle here is effectively the on-off switch for the mill. And so now this box is going to fill up with water. Up until 1930, this box was the mill race. It extended all the way across to the side of the hill over there. Now I need to hop back inside the mill. So now we've got water going out over the wheel, but I need to move the wheel just a little bit. So I do that by pulling on the main drive belt. And this belt runs to the 3rd floor and runs It's now running a lot of the equipment in the mill. But there's now grain elevators right here, grain elevators that would have carried grain up to the 3rd and 4th floors. This would have carried ground material. This equipment here is effectively the packing plant that you're looking at. So after the product went up to the 3rd floor, got separated, it would come down into this packing plant and be bagged or barreled. So most flour in this mill, all the way up into the 20s, was put into barrels, 200-pound barrels. This old equipment here, these are sifters. So the 3rd floor was always the sifting floor. Everything was milled down below, brought up by the grain elevator into these sifters, separated. This is where you separated the bran and the germ from the white flour. White flour would then go through the floor into that packing plant that you saw earlier. Here we are in the guts of the operation, effectively. These old gears were put in place by the Wades around 1880 when they bought the mill and upgraded it to this technology. We provide to a lot of the restaurants that are local to Charlottesville, Staunton, Lexington. There's a real farm-to-table movement, and lots of people are trying to source a lot of their raw materials locally. Thanks very much.
We've traveled 20 kilometers south of Lexington to Natural Bridge State Park. This natural wonder is the namesake of Rockbridge County. Let's meet up with Matthew Jackson and get a tour of the park.
So one thing I always tell folks about the bridge, it's sort of an issue of scale. You can see all the pictures in the world, but nothing really makes sense till you get down here and see it yourself. So Natural Bridge is part of the Beekmantown Formation, which is a colossal piece of limestone that was formed in the Ordovician era around 500 million years ago. So all of this at one point was actually underwater. It was a shallow tropical sea that, as that sand and sediment got compressed, formed this solid piece of limestone. Now, the prevailing theory is that this is a case of stream piracy, which means at one point the creek flowed somewhere else, but eventually worked its way through the stone to create a long, straight cavern that went to the James River. Eventually, that cavern became big enough that the ceiling started to erode until it got to just its narrowest point remaining standing, which we now call the Natural Bridge. So besides the geology of Natural Bridge, there's some interesting human history as well. Famously, it's been rumored that George Washington actually came down here and surveyed the bridge as a young man, leaving his initials carved into the rock. There is a set of GW initials carved over there across the creek, but it's going to be really hard for us to verify that, even though it's been a story for a lot of years. In addition to George Washington, this has been a ceremonial site for the Monacan Nation for years and years, and continues to be that to this day. One of the more famous owners of the bridge was actually Thomas Jefferson, who purchased it in 1774, but was unfortunately had to be sold by his heirs to settle his estates. A good president, great philosopher, not always the best with his money. One of the most important people at Natural Bridge is actually a man named Patrick Henry, who was the caretaker of Natural Bridge when Thomas Jefferson owned it. Patrick Henry was an African-American man who was born into slavery in Westmoreland County and was forced to purchase his freedom when his owner did not honor his deed of manumission upon his death. He moved down here to be with his family after purchasing his freedom at the age of 24, and eventually approached Jefferson to pay the delinquent taxes on Natural Bridge and farm all the arable land on top of the bridge to take care of it. So we affectionately refer to Patrick Henry as our first park ranger, doing a lot of the things you would expect of us today, taking care of the resource and showing guests around as well, including Thomas Jefferson and his granddaughters on a visit closer to the end of his life. So this is our children's discovery area, including our new Skyline track trail. Included as part of this whole area, we have this is the trailhead for the Skyline Trail, including these really excellent activities you can take with you, sort of an experiential learning opportunity as you walk along the trail. So this trail is just a little bit more than 2 miles and actually loops around to come back to our children's Nature Explorer Discovery area, which is a little bit up the hill from here, which includes a lot of really interesting stations built around a natural learning experience and a good place to get outside and have some fun. So right now we're on Jefferson Point, which is part of our Skyline Trail system and one of the best places in the park to stargaze. We were recently certified as an international dark sky park, which is important for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is purely recreation. A lot of folks know about stargazing, but maybe have never tried it, and even fewer folks have a good place to go to do it. So being a dark sky resource means that if you've never stargazed before, or you need another place to do it, we've got pristine dark skies that you can come here and enjoy. Now this is a great location for that because of its big unobstructed horizon lines.
Thank you for joining us today for a tour of the Southern Shenandoah Valley. Let's head back to Bree for questions and answers.
Thank you so much, Patty. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Cheryl. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation. I want to also thank all the local partners who took time out of their schedule to produce videos and be present and show you around their businesses and their points of interest. So now I would like to open it up to questions from our audience. Many of the presenters that were on camera today have joined us for this question and answer period. So if you have, any of you have questions for our panel, I invite you, if you'd like, to definitely turn on your microphone. You can turn on your camera as well and ask your questions to any of our presenters about any of the topics that we've presented today. Who's going to be first?
Hello.
Bonjour, Georges. Good morning. How are you?
Bonjour, Brie.
Bonjour. Welcome. So glad you can join us. What's your question, George?
Oh, thank you very much. Well, it was a beautiful presentation. Very interesting. I didn't know this part of the world. Now, I hope that one day I will be able to visit it. Coming from Montreal, of course. Well, I just want to say that I would like to say that the Georges Hotel will be interesting. I like this beautiful place. I believe that Patty is the one who is responsible of the area, right?
That's correct.
Oh, yeah. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We're very
Thank
fortunate
you.
to have this beautiful property here.
It's a beautiful place. I know it's a beautiful property. And I hope that one day I will be able to visit this place because I believe that you have very interesting historical items, you know, over the area over there. And well, it will be these days easy to be able to go and visit, or we have to wait till this pandemic goes out of the I mean, to finish this pandemic soon?
Right. So our town is welcoming visitors at this point. We have a wonderful safety pledge called PACT, Protecting All Citizens and Travelers, of which the Georges is a member. So they are doing everything that they can to make sure that visitors have a safe stay while they're here in town. We'd love to have you visit. All of the rooms are individually designed, and there's 3 new suites coming on board this spring. It's absolutely amazing location in the center of downtown Lexington within walking
Mhm.
distance of shopping, dining, and the university. So we love it. They work with us and they're great partners.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
George at the
Okay,
Georges,
great.
we have to make that happen someday.
I hope so, eh? Very
You
soon.
could be the fourth famous George that they're named after.
Oh, oh
That's
my
right.
God. Okay, thank you, Patty.
Merci,
Ok, thank you,
Georges.
Brie. Merci à toi.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Ça me fait plaisir.
Anyone else has a question for our panel?
Ouais, c'est Andrew Bouchard here. André Bouchard ici. Est-ce que vous m'entendez bien?
Oui, bonjour André, nous vous entendons bien. Good morning.
The best, thank you. The best season to visit this country.
Best season.
Meilleure saison pour
Yep, best season to visit. I'll tell you, Andre, every season is gorgeous in the Shenandoah Valley. In the spring, you have, trees in bloom. Of course, in the fall, you have the spectacular colors. And the great thing about the destination is that our fall is basically a month later than the fall in Eastern Canada. So we can see pretty colors in the trees in the valley easily through mid-November, wouldn't you say, ladies? Yep, so it's great. So if you decide, of course, once the border reopens, if you decide to come and visit, you can see spectacular colors through mid-November. And then our trees start to bloom, I would say in April, late March, April-ish. So, it's spectacular. And another great point is that in the summertime, because of elevation, you can find places in the valley that are much cooler than the rest of the area, because if you go up to the Blue Ridge Parkway, for instance, again, because of the elevation, you'll find cooler weather there, even if it's a lot warmer in the area surrounding. So anybody would like to add anything to this response?
That's a beautiful country. Thank you very much.
Merci, Andre. Thank you so much. Cheryl, you were about to add something?
I was just going to say in the winter, we have ski resorts that are very close to us, the Homestead, Massanutten, and Wintergreen resorts. So that's another reason to come in the winter time.
Good, excellent point. That's right. I bet a lot of Canadians didn't know you could find some really good ski in Virginia, and the Valley is the place to enjoy it for sure. Any other questions?
Yes, I wanted to ask about Staunton. First of all, that looks like a really fun town that I didn't know about. I'm just wondering if you could repeat the name of the hotel. Do you know if it's pet friendly? And could you tell me a bit more about this former lunatic asylum? That was provocative.
I thought that might get someone's attention. The Blackbird Inn is a conference center and a spa. They opened just a couple of years ago. They have 39 rooms, 49. And Kathy and Frank, please jump in here if you'd like. They have outdoor music this summer. I know you can bring a pet. And they do lots of amazing events there as well. Like they'll have barbecue on the lawn. American Shakespeare Center performed there last summer, so they could do that. They could have outdoor performances, which they're going to do again this summer, but in a different location. And it was originally the lunatic asylum. So it has an interesting history, and I have never heard of anyone say they've seen a ghost. So, Kathy, do you have anything to add, or Frank?
I do. It's interesting, some people think, a lunatic asylum, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to go stay there. But the reality is this complex is unique and important internationally. It was designed as a facility that would treat mental illness in the most humane possible manner. And so They created beautiful gardens and beautiful buildings. They taught equestrian skills, architectural drafting, gardening, and the buildings were designed with walkways along the top so that the people living there could walk the tops of the buildings and catch the views. It was a very large, beautiful garden. It was in the 19th century, a large iron, beautiful cast iron fence was put up around the facility. It was not to keep patients in the facility. We know it's documented in the newspaper. The superintendent of the facility had to keep the town people out because they were disturbing the patients. It was so beautiful, people wanted to use it as a local park. And so we have this unique architectural building. It was designed and constructed by a number of people who were trained under Thomas Jefferson in Charlottesville at the University of Virginia, and they came to Staunton to build this facility, and it truly is an outstanding architectural wonder.
Thank you so much for this explanation. Sherry, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And that was the one that was referred to in the video that was built in 1924, or is that a different hotel?
Yeah, the one built in 1924 is Hotel 24 South. And it is located right in the downtown and right next to the Blackfriars Playhouse. And then what I'm talking about, the Blackburn Inn, is located just on the edge of downtown. And it was the construction first started in 1828.
Thank you so much, Frank. Any other questions? Mary, good morning.
Hi there. Well, as some of you will know, I'm actually based in London, England, most of the time, where I'm the editor of Essentially America magazine, but I've chosen to spend virtually the entire pandemic in the Shenandoah Valley. I have a second home in Lexington. My ancestors here go back to 1735 in this area. And a couple of things I'd like to add. You were talking about the main streets in Staunton and also in Lexington. Both of those towns are filled with the most delightful antique shops, craft shops, art shops, etc. And if you're into exotic, rather eccentric memorabilia, you can certainly find them on the main streets right there in Staunton and also in Lexington. Also, some of the back roads are fantastic. I have an old farmhouse that I own out near Route 39. Now, Route 39 goes through a cute little village called Rockbridge, and Rockbridge has a swinging bridge and not much else, some really pretty old houses. But then you go through something called the Maury Pass, which runs along the Maury River. It's absolutely beautiful. There's swimming holes all along the way. You can go fishing. And then it leads to Warm Springs, which has a wonderful old, I'm not too sure how old it is, 1700s, maybe early 1800s, bathhouse. In fact, it has an old wooden one for women and an old wooden one for men. And this is where people like Robert E. Lee used to come and take the baths, you know, back in the Civil War period, etc. And then you continue on to Hot Springs, where you have the homestead. Now, this is in Bath County, the next county over. But all of this area was filled with old spas. And so it has a lot of history. And of course, now I know it's not politically correct to talk about the Civil War, but you can't help but mention that, of course, Lexington was the final home of Robert E. Lee. And there's memorabilia there on Washington and Lee University. And then you've got BMI, which had very close connections with Thomas Stonewall Jackson, and you can visit the Jackson House there, which is quite fascinating. Anyway, I've loved being here, and I know a lot of other people would love visiting it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, for these additional details. Much appreciated. Clearly, you love the area. We love it too.
Thank you, Mary. It's great seeing you again.
Any other questions? Well, I want to thank everybody so very much for joining us today. I thank our panelists, our dear colleagues and friends, Cheryl, Patty, and Jennifer, and Frank. Thank you all so very much. Of course, you have links to the press materials that we've provided. That includes photos, which you can use, biographies of our speakers, additional information. But if you need more, if you have additional questions, feel free to get in touch with us. You have all of our contact information is listed in the press kit as well. So again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for taking the time to join us. And we will keep you posted on upcoming news in Virginia very soon. Thanks again, everybody, so much. Have a great day.